Well, hello there, everybody. How are y'all doing on this here Thursday? Good to see everyone, and I trust all is well in your reality. It is in mine. It's even better now that I'm here with y'all. So this is a party. That's all I can say. It's a good party too. So let me see as I get everything here. Bus is all shiny, looking good. You know, put on some of the waxed it and armor alled it, the whole bit. Tires are looking really shiny. The tank is full, the bar is open, coffee, whatever. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you for coming in and taking part of your time. Most valuable thing you have. You know, it's your time. And how you spend it is, well, I guess it's the truest act of free will that we can demonstrate. Holy fuck, Wayne, that's pretty good. Yeah, I know. Anyway, welcome everybody. Let me just speak favor over us all because I don't care what any of you say. We, I speak collectively of all of us who meet here each day, and thank you again. Um, we plant favor. We always look into the future, so we plant really healthy crops. And when the rest of the world seems to be going into the negative, into the drought thing, you know, we've got this overabundance. As the old saying goes, it's pressed down, shaken together, and running over, you know. And actually, it goes on to say, men will give into your bosom. Now, here's a little trivia for you. So, the meaning of that phrase is, you know, back in the day when they knew how to dress. I mean, I think, having robes and just, linen underneath, yeah, I'm all for that. I'm really into the sandals thing. But anyway, so if you had your robe, right, you would then pull the robe up over your arms and then you would grab the hands. And so the robe would fill this huge thing. And so that's where that comes into. So just imagine if you've got your robe out there and let's say it's really long, you put a lot of stuff in there. So anyway, that's a little bit of that. Um, Probably noticing that Mike and Cindy are not here, and I do have an update. Go over their channel. Um, they could use some love. They could use some strong energy. And if you're feeling really generous, drop a few coins into their um, prosperity. Sow a little prosperity into them, and that prosperity will come back to you. It always does. So, um, the latest I heard from Cindy was that Mike, well, whatever thing was, and I'm not quite sure on that. We'll eventually get them here, but he's recovering right now. They had to do an appendectomy, taking out his appendix, and because if they hadn't got to him when they did, they were going to burst, and that's not good. Your appendix bust, you're going to be bust. So anyway, the surgery was successful. He is back home and going to take a little recovery. He's really in a lot of discomfort, which would be expected. When they start pulling things out of you and pulling things apart, particularly down in, that whole digestive area. Yeah, body says, what? So, Mike, Cindy, we love you. Sending you lots of healing and a lot of positive energy. I mean, this has been a really stressful time for him, and I know others. endure that as well. But when we know someone personally in our inner group, um, I know for Cindy it was very difficult. I mean, she was faced with challenges that she had not anticipated, and with Mike, into how sick he really was. So we love him, and we edify him, and we lift him up. So, what else? I got other notes. Happy birthday to everybody. I think John, I saw, was your daughter. I saw someone else's, I don't know if it's a daughter or, but their birthday is that. I mean, come on. I mean, June 19th. Now, I was born at 1:29 in the morning when I came in here. About 72 and a half miles to the east of me is where came into this realm. And uh, wow, what a trip. I'm truly a very wealthy, wealthy soul. Um, and whether my soul is male or female, who knows? My spirit. But I am a very, very wealthy spirit person. And evidence of that manifestation is you. I mean, if you're listening to me, thank you. I mean, what a gift. And the quality of individuals. I mean, some of the best. I mean, we've had some jokers come through. That's cool. Just kind of makes it fun or funner. But overall, yeah. I mean, what a blessed, blissed, favorable, far freaking out. You say I didn't use the F word. Um, but what a journey. I was thinking last night as, everyone had gone to bed and the house was quiet and Bentley was with me. And, you know, the reality has dawned upon me and has for a while, but, 70 years old. I don't see myself as 70. I don't feel necessarily 70, although I'm sitting here with you today. Won't be on tomorrow because I'll be at the doctor's. It looks like I may have either ruptured or did something to a couple of the disc in your back, in your lower back. Yeah, I was trying to do the heavy lifting. Taught myself a good lesson on that. But back to the thing, I don't see myself as that. But the reality is that, you know, I can see the runway, coming in for a landing. And you begin to realize that we really never age. We really don't. All of us, I would say to the majority of, believe and see ourselves much younger. And that's good. I think they say that, there's two lives, determining how old a person is. There's obviously the chronological age, how many days you've been on. For myself, 25,182, I believe. And then there is the actual age. And that's evident by, how your body handles this deterioration. And yeah, but I'm getting back to that point. You begin to see it. How many more birthdays? I don't know. Um, I think as long as you have good health, that truly shows that you're prospering, and you have your memories, you have your soul intact. Uh, I think today where we're seeing, so many degenerative diseases, whether it's of the mind, the body, we're constantly under attack. And I think the biggest curse that I see in life is when you start losing, dementia, you begin to forget who you are. Now, for a philosopher, we can really get a lot out of that. Because if that can be a natural process, let's just say the brain does get more calcified as we grow older. Not in all of us, but it's just the way it is. Um, when people forget who and what they are, I mean, that's it. And if it can happen to us in this physical body, I wonder how easily it's happened to us in the spirit. Spiritual amnesia. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to live each day to its fullest and be grateful and with an attitude of gratitude. It's like far out. And again, I just thank all of you. You know, you've helped make us. Now, I am wearing a shirt. Is this and this came from Nina. Thank you, darling. Got your package. Actually, I didn't open it up until today because that's what it said. And again, you see 70, and it's like she sent me this beautiful card and with stickers in there. And thank you for the sweet note, Nina. So, hey, go over there and sow some prosperity over in her life as well. Like this you know, resist. We do, it says say this. Do not consent. So, yeah. So, hey, Raven, what's up? Read your comment. Marvelous creativity. Just because you get older doesn't mean the creativity needs to decline. In fact, it should amp up. I think we've been taught wrong about growing old. Personally, I never got the book. So I really don't know how to grow old. I don't know what it means in my dress. I have always been kind of I speak my own mind and my dress, even when I wore suits. I didn't like buying off the rack. I liked them to being tailored, custom made. And, actually I enjoyed that period of time. I mean, there's nothing better than to walk into a room and the suit that you're wearing fits you perfectly. You've got the right tie with the right collar, with the right shoes. Always, guys, if you're going to wear shoes, dress shoes, always keep them polished. I've let more people not, you can, particularly in sales, I judged people by not so much what they looked, I judged them by their shoes. Because if a person who's in sales, if they don't care that much about themselves, then they're not going to care about my company, my product, or our customers. And yeah, many of them. I said, thank you very much. Next. So if you're in sales or if you're in business or will you get to wear the uniform, that is the suit, the tie. Make damn sure that those shoes are shined. Yeah. When I was putting in 100,000 miles plus flying each year, um, there are certain airports where you can get a really good shoe shine. Yeah. Yeah. At least it was back in the day. So, uh, Preliminal says, I'm 61 and making my best quality paintings, illustration, and compensate. Would love to see. Let's do you an art show here. Do you sell the art? I think why not? We could do an art show in here. I think it would be great. Bum, 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 bum. I'm just reading everything in the chat room because I really didn't have a show per se. I just kind of said, well, yeah, it's my birthday. So what do you know? Hey, Gaia, what's up? Uh, I like that. She says, how are you and Paul and everything? How's the project? Sounds good. Let me know. How you do anything is how you do everything. Ain't that the truth? Every woman's crazy about a sharp dressed man. There's some truth to that, brother. I want to tell you what, that's a fact. Yeah. And the material of your suit's really important. And yeah, yeah. I was really, to me, um, in the 80s, I read the book Dress for Success. And I still made every person that came into the company that if you were out in sales and what have you, even if you weren't, you know, dress for success. This casual Friday, which has now become casual week, I don't know. There's something about it. If you put the uniform on, put it all the way on. And I tell you, I like the aspect. I liked the fashion of the Gilded Age. I mean, now those people knew how to dress. Yeah, really sharp. I liked it when they had the three-piece suit, the vested suit, particularly, with the collar clasp. I was really into that back in the 80s. I mean, had this extensive collection of collar ties. Yeah, yeah. That's all I got to say about that. Shirley says 70 isn't old if you're a tree. Isn't that the truth? You know, it's it really is a matter of perspective. Mary Wynn says, who had surgery? Mike and Cindy from Evolution Healing Arts. Yeah. Let's see, I'm just sitting back here. Hey, Lost in Space. I haven't said any hi to a lot of you guys in a while. Open-minded, good to see you. Dragon, hello. Thank you. June 5th is also Legends Day. Exactly. It's the whole freaking month. You know what I'm saying? Elderberry, good to see you. Fire, how you doing? Good to see you, Brandon. Um, Maria, how are you? Tammy, hello. Thank you. Love the hugs, man. People don't hug enough. With all the freaking violence that's out there, if you're hugging someone, you can't be throwing something. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I wouldn't recommend kissing. Yeah, but hugging? Oh, yeah. That's good therapy. What are you talking about? Exactly. Loretta, good to see you, sweetie. Chloe, how you doing, hon? I'm going to be buying some more crystals. I told you I gave all the ones that I bought before. They're now out there. And in fact, we gave it to one person for a birthday gift. And that individual said, and they could feel the energy. Way to go, sis. That's all I got to say. Dave Sullivan, what's up? I still like a kilt. I'm going back and reading the comments. That's just funny as all get out. I can dig that. Roddy Piper, saw him on, I forget what it was, but the Scots, they had it down. Um, you know, their kilts were designed to be their their tent, their blanket, their war garment. I mean, yeah, they figured it out. AK Morningstar, what's up? Rick, how are you doing? Um, Chloe says, I'm going back in the comments. I'm half asleep over here, but well, thank you. If you're tired, get some rest. That's what I say. D1, peace to you, open-minded. Toga. Actually, back in the day, way back in the day, when you've got over 25,000, that's what's so cool about keeping aware of how many days you've been on this planet, because each freaking day is a chapter. You'll look back on it like the adventures of Tom Sawyer. Each day contains its own miracles, its own challenges, its own blessings, its own ups and downs. And certain of those days, if you are into it, fortune, luck, there's a cycle, there's an ebb and a flow, and if you can get into that and understand that, it makes those days even more magical. And when you have thousands, not just single, like say, well, I've been here 70 years. No, man, I've been here 25,000 days plus. And each one, I changed, I transformed, and I progressed. It's freaking cool. I don't care what anyone says. Chujama, how is that? Yeah, see? Robes and linen. So anyway, know thyself. What's up? Just wanted to say, call out the names for sure. Papa Felix, what's good? Good to see you, sir. Hello, Stephanie Marie. Mary Wins, much love to you, darling. Hello, Trina. Much love to you, sweetie. Jet, good to see you. Frankie the Blue. Ah, I like that. That's a cool name. Love the handle. Linda Espinoza. Hello, sweetie. And thank you. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Skyheart, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, do. Let's see. I like to read the comments. Bulge disc. Lay on the floor. Feet up on the wall like you're walking up the wall. Place a small soup can wrapped in a towel under your lower back. Raise your feet. Hold for 5 minutes. I'll try that because I tell you, it sucks. You speak to your body and you're trying to get there, you make that focus, but hello. Some things are, a little more challenging, but I am a overcomer. Just, I don't just survive, I thrive. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Night Vision, what's up? I only think one birthday out like that. It's kind of odd because, when you think about if you know the exact hour you came in to this thing. Hi, Shyfield. It's good to see you. Um, it's like, okay, I'm getting caught in the reading in the comments. Graham, good to see you as well. Yeah, so anyway, um, what else is happening? Are you all ready for Windows 11? So in my extra time, like I got extra time, well, I guess we all do, whatever time is, um, been setting up a complete new computer, new monitor, new everything. So here in the not so distant future, we'll be switching over into the new system. Hello, Max. How you doing? Good to see you. Bum, 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 bum. Sciatic and bulge disc are gone, supplemented with lots of walking. Yeah, I do a lot of that. Keep a pedometer. Yeah. Try to, don't always, but always try to keep it into that, 8,000 plus steps. Not too long ago, we were doing a thing with the family, and I think that day, like 37,000 steps. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I can say. So I'm going back here and reading again. I'm 20,103 days old. Well, Dragon Sage, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Every day an adventure. That's it. So let's see. I guess, birthdays are kind of the two things. Guess you can do the perspective. But then, I always like to say, all right, so what's the next goal for the next orbit around the star? And you can't help but not notice that things are really a little dicey out there, are they not? No, they're more than dicey. Um, so I was thinking, like we all do, you never stop, that wow, we're truly, if we left one age and enter into another, I think we're still in that in-between time. I mean, the new age, whatever you want to call that, um, is here, it's arrived, and it's continuing its slow migration, right? Um, Nothing stops. And that one that we left behind, which I was thinking about this. So this last age and the one that we're in right now, um, wow, bloody time for humanity. I don't know if there is a time where we as a species was, look at that. I think that was a mosquito. What? I swear, I tell you, I think it is. Da 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 da. What he is not anymore. His consciousness is gone and moved on to the other side. But getting back to this, so I was at a place where the people were really cool, really were. And I was there buying stuff. And anyway, I always like to talk, if the energy is really, you can tell it's really open, it's really fun to get into discussions with other people outside of, your circle. And I have found more and more people that are truly aware. I think awake is maybe not the right term because I think in reality we've all been awake. It's just maybe certain things. But anyway, um, and really getting, you know, what's the temperature? And one of the things that I found, and I really got into this deep discussion with this person, and happened again today. So that's kind of telling you something. And I live in a small town. And so if I was to extrapolate from that and then begin to project it out into a larger, demographic group, it tells me that there is an awakening, there is awareness, and they're truly aware. Got into the discussion on the magnetic excursion that we're in. And it was interesting because one person knew, the other person didn't. And then we get into this whole discussion that, well, the earth moves in cycles, we move in cycle. And this is when I brought out that if you look at the last 2,000 years when, supposedly love came to town, we as a species, um, I don't know where we actually progressed, but what we do with consistency is divide ourselves. And we as a species, we shed human blood faster than anything. And that's obviously a problem with our species. There's something wrong with the soul of humanity. And even as we're seeing today, where in the United States, America is at civil war, America is in a civil war, it's spreading. And it's probably not going to be too much further down the road, and it's going to get ugly. It's nothing compared to what it's going to be. And again, the altar of sacrifice to whichever gods that we are, in fact, sacrificing to, we have human blood being spilt on the altar. And we seem to be really good at that. We talk peace, but we always act in war. And isn't that interesting? Thank you. As I was looking down, Barbara, you caught me on the attention on that. So the new birth certificates do not show the time of birth. Now that's deep, Barbara. I mean, you can get into that. And I mean, seriously, if Cindy was here, or those of you who do Vedic charts, it's a key component to know exactly when you came in here. And now, what the people coming into this realm now, I don't think they're like us. They are they're in a different level. And wow, yeah. I mean, jeez. So getting back to us. So these last 2,000 years, this last cycle, has been one that has just been repeated in death. I mean, it's not the platypuses that are forcing humanity to go to war. You know, it's not the dodo bird instructing us how to hate each other. No, it's us. And I personally think that technology has much to shoulder the blame on this. There's something about technology, it's dark. You can't put any light to it. It's really dark. We like to fool ourselves and say, well, it can do so much good. No, even the good, they're collecting the data. So whatever good is going back to some freaking nefarious, you know, crime family or cabal, who knows, cult. Um, yeah, I mean, it's just, and speaking of cults, when you see hatred promoted, and when you see these programmers pushing narratives of hurt, hate, spill blood, you have the right, blah, 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 blah. Those are blood cults. You've got so-called news media like MSNBC, CNN. Hell, you even put in Fox. You can just basically put all the news media. They are cults. They serve a demigod that they'll deny, but yet their actions lie. And when you see them pushing for the spilling of human blood, you know they are a blood cult. You can see it by the talking simians that they have for their talking heads. They begin to program narratives, words, knowing that these words will have a reaction. You know, so whatever the deity that's ruling this present day and age, you can see it evidenced everywhere. And again, for the last 2,000 years, even under the guise that you could say, for the most part, most governments within the last, particularly, oh, hell, I guess you could go back further than that, go all the way back to maybe Sumer. Um, we have always, always, as a species, seemed to be under the control of a religion. Now, religion is it masquerades with different masks because religion can look like politics. Religion can look like corporate business. In fact, all profit is a religion. We don't like to think about that. And then you look at the influence of these religions. What have they done? They've divided us. And in 70 years, I've not seen humanity progress 1 inch. In fact, we're regressing. But we've been a cruel species all of our existence. Our species thrives on hurting others. Look at how capital systems are set. They're a chase system. And everybody will kill their mother and their brother and sister to get higher. Well, not everybody, the vast majority. It's the problem we have today. We've replaced the spiritual goal of enrichment with the monetary, the material. And unfortunately, we have many soulless humans walking here. It could be, in fact, that there are no more souls. Um, and that's not conspiracy, or what I would say far fringed. It's actually taught. There's a certain number of souls. Now, I like to play with that and go, oh, really? So let's just say we're one of the lucky ones. We got Willy Wonka's golden ticket, which means we have a soul. So if you now have humans being born that don't have souls, what happens as they progress and they age? Eventually, they will notice the difference between those humans who do have souls and those who don't. Is that going to be another division point for us? I don't know. I don't know. And Elderberry, I saw that. I was writing in some notes. Um, technology. Technology has basically stopped. Tell me, tell me a new technology. Tell me where the computer industry has, was doing what we were seeing in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, where it was initially every 3 years, technology would double and it would increase. And then it got down to where it was like every 6 months, and then it was continually to be compressed. But if you step back objectively, and look at where, let's say, Michael Dale. When Michael Dale came to the forefront of manufacturing in business, he rewrote technology. I mean, he was the one that brought JIT into being. And how many of you know what JIT is? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Just in time inventory. And it was marvelous. It dropped the cost of manufacturing down. His suppliers, they owned their equipment, their product, until it reached the docks of right there in Round Rock in Texas, which meant that they didn't have to carry inventory. It was a beautiful model. And if you owned stock back then, you know what we all went through. I mean, it was wonderful. At its peak, I think at one time it did, I think it was a 15-to-1 stock split. But anyway, I digress. And I was a part of that. We were pioneers in the internet. I had one of the very first companies that was the B2B, and we were defining what B2B. But my point was, we were seeing the advancement of technology, and this was having a huge impact. Today really isn't anything new. What does that say? Hey, hippie chick. Hello, 360. How are you doing? Are you well? And are you safe? It's so good to have you. Thank you, hon. Hey, Colleen. What's up, girl? Greg, good to see you. Blazing River. The Internet of Things. Yeah, but the Internet of Things, I think you would agree, came out basically it was the next evolution of commerce. Not so much technology, but that would be a really good discussion to really have. But anyway, uh, yeah, nostalgia for the money games. It was, hey, listen, it was a wild time. That's all I can say. And I'll take that with me into the next realm. So I'm grateful for it. Those 90s, wow. I mean, woof. And the early 2000s, that's all I got to say. It was the roaring 20s for sure. Uh, and what a ride. What a ride. So anyway, I'm not the only one. I can tell you that. Let's see, probably only in weapon tech. Maybe, yeah, yeah. But I often wonder though, the founder of Boeing before he died, and he also founded Skunk Works. James, what was his name? I'll think of it here in a second. But he said, whatever you think we are technologically, and he was talking about the military complex. He says we're 100 years ahead of that, if not maybe 200 years. I happen to take him seriously. Skunk Works, they have done some stuff that we still don't know what they're doing. And it may be that all these UAPs and UFOs, maybe they're not foreigners. Maybe maybe there is something we don't truly understand. I mean, if the White House said, remember when they said that a couple of months ago, that they had technology that can change space-time? What if that's remotely true? Let's give it a 1% probability of being true. I mean, wow, what would that look like? I don't think we would know. That's the problem. We don't know. And in the meantime, here we are again. We supposedly have all this technology, and it was supposed to benefit mankind. We were supposed to be in nirvana by now. We were supposed to be in where we did not have capitalism and we did not have socialism. We didn't have communism. We had a new something that is not an ism. The problem, if it's an ism, then you don't want it. We humanity should say, no, take your ism and ism them right back where you came from. We need something new and different because I don't see the technology out there taking the woes of the world away. It's just the opposite. And at 70 years young, I mean, folks, many of you who are listening have been in technology, and I don't know how far go back, but many of them who are my generation, and we're a part of that. I mean, we should be seeing something positive, something that is changing us, not for the worse, not transmuting us to something else. Leave us the fuck alone. You know, take out that defective gene that you put into us and allow us to live our 10,000 years, which was the original promise. No, they got a jack with us. And all that time, it's, well, it makes one think that this is truly a prison planet. Because this technology, this internet, for the vast majority of it has been detrimental to our progression as a species. We should never have to think transhumanism. There's nothing wrong with the current model. They've just jacked with it. And if they give us back our rights, maybe we could learn a few lessons in 10,000 years. Maybe we could do it for the benefit of mankind. People would say, well, if humans live to be 10,000 years old, it would overpopulate the planet. How do you know? We don't know that. Although, did y'all see that? Let me pull this up. I mean, there's some weird stuff, right? And, talk amongst yourself as I pull up this thing because apparently our perception of what reality is, as I continue to look here, again, like I said, just talk amongst yourself. I'm just tripping through my files and wow, there are a lot of files here, Steiger. I mean, geez, yeah, there are. But when I show this to you, it's one of those things you've got to go, hmm. So if that's possibly true, then we may in fact have this weapon. What is that? It's like things are buzzing around me, and I'm going, what? There really are. What is this? Back. Okay, just give me a second here. So how y'all been? Uh, and I know I got this. Like I said, I hadn't really planned anything, and it's very evident, when you can see that I'm taking your valuable time and saying, really, I found this really cool thing, but oh, I can't find it. It's like, well, then why did you waste our time? Well, because if I could have found it, it was really cool. It basically showed one person, and I apologize. I'll find it and I'll bring it back up, and we'll remember this conversation going, oh, yeah, I remember you're talking about this. But apparently, the landmass that we have been told is the size of, say, the United States. Um, it's been, how should we say, somewhat exaggerated. If you put it actual to scale on the planet as to what it really is, these pictures that we think is the globe, they're not accurate. And again, I am trying to stall for time because it really was a cool, but anyway, can't find it. Well, doesn't that suck? Doesn't that suck? But getting back to this thing of us living, because right now, I mean, we're at war. And this whole thing with, what it reminds me of? A cancer. We kept it at bay for the longest time. And what we thought we were keeping at bay at the meantime, it was causing all this other unseen damage. And now that it's come into play, um, wow. I like playing poker. I wouldn't want to be in that game. Nah, no. Too rich for my blood. They're talking the stakes of human blood, human beings. I'm not good at playing those type of games. I don't want to play those type of games. But nevertheless, and I'm not saying that it's a game, but the metaphors you hear about being talked, it certainly seems like someone's looking at this. And so we are at that point in history. I guess we got that going for us. I mean, at some point, all of us are going to die. We're physically going to have, death. And we'll take with our resume that one of the things that we all shared was that we all shared the day that the world ignited. Because now Russia and China are saying, well, not so fast now. If the United States gets involved, we may, we've got agreements with Iran, and we may have to step in here. You see, that is a scenario that has been well scripted out. I mean, I'm a simple man, and if I know the script, then they surely got to know the script. Just saying. Rick, what's up? Message. I've done that myself. Dingo says, who wants to play for blood? And Doc Holliday replay, I'm your Huckleberry. Ain't that the truth? Didn't he say in that showdown scene that Johnny Ringo says, hey, Holiday, I got no beef with you. And Holiday says, I beg to differ with you, my friend. We're in a game for blood. Great movie. I watched that. We watched that not too long ago. Great acting in that. So many lines that, and I don't know if Tucson was like that, but I'd have to say they were very Tony in their dress. That's all I got to say. Again, I know I'm just regressing back there, but the Gilded Age, right about late 19th century, early 20th century, I mean, fashion was pretty damn cool. You know, I still say with men, they should bring back hats. I mean, if you look for the longest time, a hat was part of a man's fashion, and it has always been for you ladies, you know. Hello, Lily. How are you? Good to see you. Well, Dr. Hugh, let me know how that goes. Ah, I love that. That is so cool. Y'all are just the best. I just got to tell you, and it's a delightful birthday present. Thank you all. I mean, if you're listening, appreciate it. I really do. Um, and Dr. Hugh, it would raise us above the gloom of futility. I've been thinking on that, and when you wrote that the other day in the chat room, is that, you know, that's a dark place because it says that the future is set. That no matter what we do, no matter what we think, no matter what we create, it's all in vain. Well, isn't that the problem with Solomon? I mean, a lot of people, they never talk about Solomon in his old age. The guy was a miserable son of a bitch. If he lived, I don't know if he did. I don't know if he did. But remember, he wrote the book of Lamentations. That's a dark book. I mean, that's a book that, you wouldn't give to the suicide prevention. Sure, here, read this book and really make you feel like you got ready to go over. Uh, and he basically said in Lamentations, it's all in vain. Everything. Your life, your days, your accomplishments, your disappointments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's all in vain. You're going to die. And no one can assure you that there's something beyond that. That's not my words, it's his. I mean, pretty dark stuff. Going, damn. So if the richest dude is that freaking miserable, you know what? Being as they would say, a poor man may not be maybe the right way, right? Doesn't Proverbs says that a poor man never has to worry about being robbed? Says a poor man never has to worry about is the person in front of him true or deceiving him? Hmm. No, I don't know. Don't know, Gilbert. Maybe we had it right. Maybe those communes we had back in the day, we just needed a little bit more maturity. We had the right idea, but that's, I guess, what the could you imagine if we lived for 10,000 years? You'd have 1,000 years before you became a teenager. And just think about that. Imagine 1,000 years of rock and roll progressing at a level that would be on. Because the talent of the day, you think about the songwriters back then. Imagine that moment of brilliance. Imagine Elton John. Could he have done any more? I mean, what was it? 73, 74? Didn't he put like two or three albums out at one time? And the Who, I mean, going back. That would be 1,000 years. Wow. Anyway, Greg says, does the poor man hold his ground or let it go by? Just me, Greg? I think a poor man would realize that it's not his land to begin with. He didn't create the planet. I can speak to being nomadic. When I was on my own at the age of, it's amazing. I have to figure out what's going on here. Um, I didn't own anything, didn't have an address. Basically, is the deal there, about folks. Um, but I knew what the nomadic life was like. And I didn't worry. I didn't worry about it. I really didn't. I think of the times where I've been homeless, um, due to circumstances that were unforeseen, but it happened. Um, I never panicked then either. I mean, what is it, the old expression? I forget which movie it comes from, but there's a certain piece. Oh, I know what it was. It was The Freshman. Uh, Matthew Broderick. He says where there's a certain piece knowing you're completely fucked. I mean, it's like, okay. So I can speak about that. I think the times that I have been more stressed and more miserable is that when I was dealing in the area of finance and in that whole theater, because it will steal your soul. It will try to, because money really jacks with people. It really does. Uh, More so than religion, you know. But yeah, and some of the most miserable people I have met, beautiful souls, but so miserable, um, were the most wealthiest because you have to be on your guard about everything. Does the person really like you? Do they really want to get to know you for you, or is there, an alternative motive? And that's how a lot of them live their lives. Sucks. Be like David or Buddha or Muhammad. Cave time for woo-woo insights. Yeah. I don't know, Dr. Hugh. I don't know if people could handle that. I used to spelunk a lot. Don't anymore. I don't, it's that feeling when, it is not claustrophobia. So when you get stuck in a crevice and yeah, well, that'll jack with your mind every time. Absolutely, it will. I mean, and it's amazing what the mind starts. And I'm thinking, so is that my mind or is that my spirit? Is that my soul? My mind is telling me, what the hell have you done here? You can't move forward. You can't move back. People are pulling on you and it ain't working. Anyway, but I look back at those times. Me living on the streets in Houston, Texas, in the Montrose area. Um, it was odd. I just never felt like I was homeless. You know, always had a place to go, and for the most part, and yeah. But anyway, and then I remember your first apartment. I do. What a freaking adventure that was. All right, folks, this has been fun. And like I said, I didn't have really a show put together. Mike and Cindy, we love you, and speaking healing to that. I mean, wow. Hopefully, we'll get back next Thursday with them. And I won't be here tomorrow because I'm off to the medical place. Ain't that grand? But you can be assured this that wherever I go, I bring a story in tow. And when people begin to give heed to the word, they become mesmerized by the tale. So there you go. Peter, hello. Couch surfing. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Greg says we should start a new process where we to submit by intention. Yeah. Paul Joe says I met a Buddha. It's first monk that is that is in high finance right now. Yeah. The thing is that, you know, portfolios, I pick my own. Yeah. And I still do it. We're all involved in it. I mean, it's like you're swimming in the pool, right? And it may be an Olympic sized pool, but at the other end is the kiddie pool. I'll guarantee you some of that yellow water has been intermixed with all the rest of the water. So what I'm making point is that, well, if you're in it, you're going to play in it, might as well win at it, right? Even if you win a little bit at it. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Much love to you, brother. Regina, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you folks, you know, and in the most sincere way you can put that. It's phenomenal. Y'all are. And thank you. 11 years. Yeah. 70 years old. Does it get any better? I don't know. Mary wins. Love you too, darling. Uh, all right, everybody. Have fun. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. It's supposed to start getting hot here in the Midwest, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a small heat wave. It's a heat wave. All right, Raven, have a great one to you. Mr. Mission Control, thank you, all of you. Dr. Sai, how old are we today, Mr. Steiger? I'm 70 years young, or 25,182 days. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't see on the ticket the expiration date. I'm looking and can't find it yet. Not that it's probably not there. I just can't find it. It must be in the really small fine print, right? All right, everybody. Much love to you. Thank you, Gilbert. Thank you, Lost in Space. Everybody, have yourself a great one. And we will see on Monday.